see how we can update the record in the table and how we can delete a record from a hide table. As when we are executing a update or delete command in our manage table, then that record might not get deleted because the acid properties, that is atomicity, consistency, isolation and durability, is not supported till the version which is less than 1 of Hive. So let me show you how it will throw an error or exception when you try to execute your update or delete command on your general tables. You can say on your local tables. There is a workaround how we can update or delete the record in the table that we will see in this session. So let's first see how and what exception it exactly throws when you try to update or delete the record in your table. So let me show you. I have one table that is T1. So I'll show you the records. Select star from T1. It has couple of records, that is ID and name. You can verify the schema of your table using DESC and the table name. So now you can see my T1 table has two columns, that is ID and name. ID is a int type and name is a string type. So I wanted to update or delete a record in my T1 table. So let me see if I can delete that. So delete from T1 where my ID equal to 1. So I wanted to delete a record where the ID is 1 present in my table. So let me execute this command. So now you can see it gives the exception that attempt to update or delete on table. Testing 10 is my database. My table name is T1, so it is displaying testing10.t1 that does not use an ACID output format or is not bucketed table. So you cannot execute your delete command without using the ACID properties, because ACID properties are used for transactional properties like update or delete. So in the similar way, if I wanted to update the record, then it will give me the same exception. So let me update the record. So command is update, then table name, that is T1, set what you wanted to set, exactly what you wanted to update. So let me set ID equal to 10 where name equal to, let's see, Ajay. So I wanted to set my ID to 10 where the name is Ajay, my first record. So let me execute this query. So now you can see it has thrown the same exception. Attempt to do update or delete on table that does not use an ACID output format or is not a bucketed table. So you cannot directly update or delete a record in Hive table. To update or delete a record, there is a workaround, or you can say there is a functionality by which you can update or delete the record in your table. To update or delete, you have to use the TBL property, because TBL properties is used to do the transactional things in your table, and the transactional is update or delete. So you have to create your table by using the TBL properties. That is, this exception is saying you have not used the ACID output format, or it is not used the bucketed table. So let's use in that format so that we can update or delete the record from table. So let me show you the table how we can create. So this is my table. Let's use this table on terminal. So I have used, let's use any table. I am creating a table using test 55 name, and I have two columns, that is ID int and name as a string, clustered by name into three buckets, stored as ORC TBL property. So this is the schema of your table, how it is created. And then transactional equal to true, because now it is using your transactional properties, that is used for ACID. By creating your table in this manner, where you are using your TBL properties, that is used for update and delete, then only you can update or delete your records. So let me execute this table. So now you can see my table is created. So if I will execute this table, so this table doesn't have any record, so you cannot update or delete. So let me show you the schema of this table as well. So test 55 and descending, that is describe, DESC is the keyword to describe the table schema. So now you can see it has two columns, ID and name. So now the first thing is you have to load your data in your table. So you can load your data from the Excel or CSV file, or you can just simply use the insert command to load your data. So that is insert into, then table name, that is test 55, then values, then the values according to the schema. So my schema is ID, then name. So let me put the name as ABC and let me execute. So this query will insert one record in my table. To insert a record, it takes some time to insert a record inside the table. So you have to wait till that time when your mapper and reducer job gets executed successfully, then only it will show you the records. So now my mapper is completed 100%. After that, my reducer will start, and once the reducer is 100% complete, then you will get your record in your table. So now you can see my mapper job is completed and my reducer is running mode. So once the reducer is 100%, now you can see my table value is inserted. So if I want to execute again the same command, that is select star from test 5, that is test 55, then you will get one record. So now you can update or delete your table record by using this table, because this table has used the TBL properties, so you can use your transactional properties. So now let me update my record. So update, then table name, my table name is test55, then set what I want to set. Let me set the ID. So ID equal to, let me set 22, where name equal to ABC, because my name is a string type, so I am giving this in double quotes, and ID is int, so I am giving that without the quotes. So let me execute this query. So now you can see my update query is executing. Earlier, when I have executed my query on simple table which has not used the TVL property, then it has thrown the exception. But now I have used TVL properties when I have created my test55 table, then you can use your update command successfully. So now you can see my mapper job is started. It is starting from 0%. So let's wait till the time my mapper and reducer job gets completed successfully. Then when we verify, then it will show me the updated records. Now you can see my mapper job is 100% completed, and it is starting the reducer job. So once the reducer job is completed, then I will query my table again to verify if my record is updated or not. So now you can see my reducer job is completed successfully. Now if I query again, select star from test 55, then it should show the updated value. So now you can see the ID is 22 instead of 1. So my record is updated successfully. So this is how you can use your update command in your table which is created by using TVL property. So in simple, in the similar way, you can use the delete command also. So delete from, then table name test55, where ID equal to, let's say 22, because now my ID is 22, semicolon. Let me execute this command. So my delete command is executed. It has not thrown any exception as it was displayed when I have executed the same command on the table which has not used the TVL properties. So my mapper job is getting started to execute my query. So let's wait a second while this query is getting executed successfully. So now you can see my mapper job is completed successfully, and my reducer job is completed successfully as well. So if I execute my same query, select star from test55, then I am expecting no record because it has only one record and I have already deleted that. So now you can see my record is not here. So it means my delete command is executed successfully and deleted my record in the table. So in this session we have seen how we can update and delete our record from a table which has used TVL properties. So let me show you again. So this is my schema how you can execute the command. First, you need to create a table which is using the TBL properties, and transactional equal to true, so that we can use the transactional functionalities, that is update and delete. This is the schema of your TBL property. So there is no concept of how it is using. If you want to execute your transactional queries, then you have to use this thing while you are creating your table, and then you have to insert the value, and once you have inserted the value, then you can use the update command, and after that you can use the delete command as well. So in this session we have seen how we can update and how we can delete our record. In this session we are going to see how we can add more columns in our existing Hive table, so that we can increase our schema of the tables. So add the columns, you first need a table. So let's use the same table which we have used in earlier sessions. So let's see DESC and new table 1. So in this I have two columns, that is zip code 1 and designation 1. So in this session our task is to add more columns in this table. To add more columns in this table, you can use the alter table command, that is, let's say alter, then table and table name, new table 1. Then our task is to add columns. So the command is simple, add columns. And which column you want to add? Let's say I want to add ID, that is int type, and name, that is string type. So I am adding two columns in my existing table schema. So let me execute this query. So my query is executed successfully. So if I again see the schema of the table using DESC new table 1, so I should have 4 columns. Earlier I have zip code and designation. Now I have ID and name. So my 2 columns are added in this table. If you want to add more columns, you can use the same command, and you can add, let's say, address, and it is string type, and let's say more feature, phone number, and that is string type. And you can use the same command, alter table, table name, and then add columns. So if I execute this command, I should have 6 columns now. Address and phone should be included in my table schema. So DESC new table 1. So now you can see I have 6 columns in my table, that is address and phone is also included. So this is how you can add more columns in your existing table using this command, that is alter table, then table name, after that add columns, and then schema of the column which you want to add. So this is how you can add your columns in your existing tables. In this session we are going to see how we can get the minimum, maximum, average count of a column from Hive table. So let me show you a table which has an integer value column, by which we can take the min, max, average and count value of a particular column. So I have one column, that is test 56. Let me show you the result of this column. I have two columns in this table. The first one is ID and the second one is name. If you want to describe a table and wanted to show the schema of a table, you can use the describe and then the table name. You can use complete describe or you can use DESC as well. So in both ways you can describe your table and you can see your table schema. So now in this session I wanted the minimum, maximum, average and count of a particular column, because I have one column that has the integer value, that is ID. So let's take an example of this column, how we can fetch the record from this column. So my query would be select, then first I wanted the minimum value. So min is the function and then I wanted for ID column. The second one is maximum. So max is the function by which I wanted for the ID column. In the similar manner, I wanted average for the ID column values. And apart from that, I also wanted the count of a total number of rows. You can put star or you can put any column. So this is completely depend on you. So let me put ID also in this. In the similar manner, I wanted the count of a particular column. So let's take ID for this as well. And then from table name, my table name is test56. So let me execute this query and we will find out how we can take the minimum, maximum, average and the count of a particular table on the basis of one column. So now my mapper and reducer's job would get executed and it will show me the result for the query which I have executed. So my mapper and my reducer's job is completed and my query has displayed the result. So I wanted the minimum, maximum and the average value of a particular column with the count of my record. So let me show you the select star from table name so that we can identify how it has displayed these values. Select star from test56. So now you can see it has the minimum value is 1 of my column. So it has displayed 1. The maximum is 12. So it has displayed maximum, that is 12. And after that I have taken the average of my ID. So because it is 12, so the average would be based on that 6.5. And I have taken the count as well. So that is why it has displayed 12, because total number rows are 12 for my query. So this is my command which I have executed to get the result, and this is my result which I have received after executing this query. So in the similar manner you can execute your queries to get the minimum, maximum, average or count for particular table. You can also count the number of rows using select, count and then you can put star inside the braces, then from table name, that is table 56, it will show you the count of rows for this column, that is, so it will show you the result of the rows count for this table, that is test 56. Now my mapper job is executed. Now it has started the reducer's job, and once the reducer's job is completed, it will give you the result of my query. That is, I wanted the count of records for table 56. Because I have 12 record in this, so it has displayed 12. So in this way, you can get your minimum, maximum, average of your column, and apart from that, you can also take the count star to get all the rows count for your query from a particular table. In this session, we are going to see how we can create a new table by using the existing table schema. So let's take an example. If I have one table and I wanted to create a copy of this table using our existing table schema. So let's see, I have one table that is select star from T1. T1 is my table name. So I have one table that is T1, and inside this I have two records, that is 1, 2 is the ID and the Ajay and the Sam is the name. So I have two records with the schema of ID and name. We can verify the schema of this table using the DESC command. DESC T1. So now you can see it is showing ID and name. So our task is, I wanted to create a schema of the same table with my new table. So to create a table using the same schema of existing table, that is T1, our command is create table. Then what is the table name you wanted to create? Let's see, I wanted to create a table name using T7, and by using which table you wanted to create your T7? I wanted to create using T1. So the command is like. Our keyword is like T1. So our full command, or you can say full query, to create a new table using the existing table schema is create table, then the new table name, that is T7 like T1. Now I have created a new table named as T7. You can verify the table using the same command, that is DESC then T7. So DESC T7. If you wanted to verify the schema, you can verify, yes, it is showing the similar schema which has in T1 table. And if you query your table, that is select star from T1, my table name, the new table name is T7, then it will show you the same record. As we have not entered our data into this table, that's why it is not displaying any record. So to load a record from existing table, you have to take a query, that is insert override then table. My table name is T7, and I am taking, let's say for example, a existing table data, and I wanted any particular condition to insert my data in this new table. So let's say I am only taking select ID name from T1 table where ID is greater than 1. So what I am expecting from this table? I am expecting that only the first record is not entered in my new table, because the first record has the ID 1. So when I am putting where ID is greater than 1, so I am only expecting the second record, that is ID 2 and Sam in this table. So let's query this table to insert a record. So now you can see the mapper and the reducer job is getting started. So once it will finish, then we can verify if the record is entered or not. So my job has finished. So let's verify any record is there in T7 table or not. You can verify using select star from T7. So now you can see it has entered only one record, that is greater than ID 1, 2 and Sam. So my query is executed successfully and correctly. So let's take one more example. If I wanted to create a table from the existing table and insert the value in a same table using the similar command, what would be our command? Create table, create a new table, that is T8, and I wanted to create like T7. So as select ID name from T7. So I'm creating a new table, that is T8, and I wanted a schema similar to T7. So I'm using as select ID name from T7. So I'm taking two schema, or you can say two columns from this table. You can take one column also. So it is completely depend on you how many columns you wanted to create in your new table. If I wanted only ID, so you can put as select ID from T7. Don't use name. So it is completely depend on you how many columns you wanted in your new table. So let's query this. So now you can see my query is started executing. So let's wait till the time my mappers and reducers job executed, then we can verify if we have a record in T8 table and if it has executed successfully or not. So now you can see my query has executed successfully. So let's query my T8 table. Select star from T8. So my table is T8 which we have created. So now you can see it has executed the same command, ID and name from T7, because in our T7 we have only one record, so that is why it has entered only one record. Select star from T7. So now you can see T8 and T7 has same record, because we have executed a query like this: create table T8 as select ID and name from T7. So whatever value is in, we have taken into T8 table. So you can use the where clause also in this command. Like if you wanted to put any condition in this, then you can put in the similar way, like create table T9 and then select ID name from T1. I'm taking example of T1 table because that has two values, ID 1 and ID 2 both. So now we can take a where clause where ID is greater than 1. So you can put your conditions in the new table as well. Like you wanted to put only those records where the ID is greater than 1. In a similar manner, you can create your table with any condition. So my mapper and my reducer's job is started executing. So now you can see my query has executed. So let's take the select query on T9 table. Select star from T9, because T9 was our new query which we have created using the T1 scheme. So now you can verify that it has only one record, because we have only taken this query like where the ID is greater than 1. And in our T1 table, we have two records. Now you can see it has two records like 1 and Ajay, 2 and Sam. And I wanted in this new table only those records which is ID is greater than 1. So it has only taken 2 in our T9 table. In this session, we have seen how we can create a schema of new table using the existing table, and we have also seen how we can put a condition on newly creating table like where clause we have taken where the ID is greater than 1, so that we should have only those record which has ID is greater than 1. We have seen how we can implement the condition also while creating the new table by using our existing table. In this session, we are going to see how we can compare two tables in a simple manner in our Hive database. So I'm inside my Hive terminal and I'm using my database. So let's see, I have two tables. In that I have few distinct records. So let's see the table first. So let's say I have my table, that is table 1. So let's say select star from table 1. So I have ID and name in table 1, and let's say I have second table, that is table 3, and I have these records in table 3 also. So now you can see I have few record like distinct record in both the tables. Like I have 11 and 12 that are not available here in table 3, and I have like 4 to 6, like 4 to 10 that are not available in my first table. So I have few distinct records in both the tables. So to compare these tables, let's say how I can get the distinct record from both the tables. So I need to create a query to get the distinct record on the basis of join. So let's see how I can use the join to compare two tables. To compare two tables, I need to use like both the joins, left outer join and right outer join. Left outer join and right outer join we have already seen our different session. Like in this tutorial I have discussed about left outer join and right outer join both. So let's see how I can get the distinct count. So let's say I have one distinct like two distinct values in table 1, and I have, let's say, these 7 values in table 2. So how I can get the count like from both the tables? So let's create a query. To create a query, it's simple, like select. I wanted the count, like I wanted these 10 or 8 numbers which are the distinct values from both the tables. So I wanted the count star. So count star will give me the count only. Then from, let's say, table 1, and let's create an alias for table 1 like T1. So to compare the table and get the count from both the tables, I need to use the join. I cannot use inner join, left or right. So I need to use full outer join. Full outer join gives you the records from both the tables. So I'm using full outer join. Full outer join. So I'm joining which table? I'm joining the table 2, that is my table 3, and I'm creating the alias is T2, and I need to join on the basis of any column. So I'm joining on, let's say t1.id equal to t2.id. So I'm joining my table on the basis of my id column. And what I wanted, like, I don't want the null values, so I'm checking like the null values where, let's say, t1.id is null or t2.id is null. So I'm checking the null values also, because I don't want the null values from any column. I only wanted the count of my distinct records. So let's press enter. So now you can see it is executing the map reduce job, because if we give any condition in our table execution in Hive database, it executed the map reduce in the background to get the record, because Hive uses the Hadoop. So it is executing the query using the map reduce job. So now you can see my map reduce job is executed successfully and it has displayed 9. So how it comes? So let's see, because I have two record distinct in table 1 and I have these 7 record, like 7 distinct record in table 2. So 2 from table 1, 7 from table 3. So now it is displaying all the distinct values as 9. Like we have 9 records which are distinct from both the tables. So this is how you can get your distinct record on the basis of like full outer join. As you can see on this, which I have just selected for your reference. So let's see in another example how we can get our record from both the tables using like left outer join and right outer join. And we need to use the union keyword to like join both the tables. So how we can get distinct values from both the tables using left and right outer join. So I'm removing this and let's create a query for first table, that is my table 1 for the left outer join. So select, I'm creating an alias for my table 1, that is t1 dot star, like from table 1, the alias is t1, and then I'm using left outer join. Left outer join, on which table I wanted the join? I wanted the join on table 3 and the alias is t2 on particular column like t1.id equal to t2.id. So I'm fetching my record on the basis of the id column, and where I don't want the null values, so I'm checking my second table t2.id is null. So by using this query, I am removing my null values from my right table, so that it only displayed the unique values from the left table and it joins from like second table, that is my right table, table 3. So I am expecting only left table record, that is the first record, like I have the distinct values 11 and 12 in table 1, that is not available in table 2. So I'm expecting only like these two records. So I'm coming to my query. Let me execute this query again so that we can see the output of this query. As now you can see it has started the map reduce job to execute my query. So let's wait till it execute our map reduce so that we can get the output. So now you can see as expected I have received only distinct record from my first table 11 and 12, as we have seen like 11 and 12 only is my distinct record from left table, that is not available in right table. So in the similar manner, let's take a query to get the distinct record from right table. Like I need to use the right outer join. So the query is same, like I need the second table record. So I'm using t2 dot star, and instead of left outer join I'm using right outer join, and I'm fetching the record on the basis of id column. So that would be same, where now I wanted my p1 dot id is not null, like I'm comparing the right side table. So if any value is null from left table, that would not get displayed. So let me execute this query. Now you can see my second query started its execution and it is starting the map reduce job. So let's see the output from this table, and I'm expecting my record from like row number 4 to row number that is 10, that is not available in table 1. So I'm expecting my distinct record from table 2. So now once I get this record, then we can merge these records into one query and we can get our expected output. Like I wanted a query which should give me the output by comparing both the tables which has the distinct values. So now you can see as expected it displayed me the record from 4 to 10 that are distinct from my second table, and this is the query for my second table like which uses the right outer join. So in similar manner now we can merge these tables so that we can get only single query which should get all the record, like all the distinct record from my both the tables. So this is my right outer join table. So let me take my left outer join table. I'm just going to copy this like my left table. So let me copy this and we can paste it at the last or at the first, it is up to you. And I'm using union all. So what is union all? Union all is the keyword, or you can say it is used in Hive to merge two tables and get the duplicate records also. Like there is two keyword union and union all. So union all gives the duplicate record also, and if you use only union then it will remove the duplicate record. So you can use union or union all as per your need, as per your query. So let me paste my second table. So I have used my first query, that is right outer join, which should give me this record, and then I have used union all so that I can merge two table, and then I have used my first table which should give me the record of 11 and 12. So now I am joining both the table so that I should get all the record by using single query. So let me press enter. So now you can see it has started running my map reduce job. So once my map reduce job executed successfully, it will give me the distinct record from both the tables, like table 1 and table 3, like both the tables, because I have used the left outer join and right outer join, like both in one query. So it should give me the distinct record from both the tables. So by using this way, you can compare your table and you can get your record as per your need by distinct values, or you can use the full outer join which gives you the count from the distinct record point of view using the two tables. So it is completely up to you how you use your join to get your count or to get your distinct values. So now you can see it has displayed the distinct values, like all the 9 record from both the tables. So as earlier, we have executed our query with count star, and that time it has displayed the count as 9, and now we have get all the record, like distinct record with values from Hive query. So this is how we can use our table query as per our need. Like this is the output of that table which gives the 9 row count, like 9 distinct row count, and this was the query to get the count, like select count star from table 1 T1 full outer join I have used, and then I have queried like where T1.id is null and T2 id is null. So I'm comparing both the tables, and now it has displayed the output as 9, and now finally I have used left outer join and right outer join and compare two tables which gives me the record 9 with its values, and this is the table which I have just selected at the bottom of your screen. So this is how you can compare your table as per your need. In this session, we are going to see how we can rename the table and how we can replace one column of a hive with other column. So let's first start with table creation so that we can rename that table. To create a table, let's take a query create table, then table name would be rename table, then schema of a table, let's say I'm putting id as int and name as string, then row format delimited fields terminated by, like which field by which separator you want to separate your values. So let's put comma. So I have created my table. Let's press enter. My table is created. So if I press select star from rename table, that is my table name, then it doesn't have any value. but our task is how we can rename our table. To rename our table, you have to see the schema of a table so that you can rename your table with some other value. So you can rename your table. Let's say I'm seeing the schema DESC rename table. So I have ID and name. So our first task is how we can rename our table. So to rename our table, the command is alter, then table, and after that table name, my table name is rename table. Then I have to rename to some other table name. So rename is the keyword to the new table name. So let's put is new table. So I am creating my rename table name as new table. So semicolon enter. So my query is executed and I have changed my table name. So if I execute the same command, select star from rename table, so it won't find because my table has renamed with new table. So if I query with select star from new table, then my table would find. Yes, select star from new table is fine because there is no value inside that, so no records are showing. But if you want to insert any record, then insert into table name. The table name is new table, then values, and then the schema according to the value. So one, and the second one is string column. So let's say name. So now my value is inserted. So it is executing the map and reduce task, and after that my query would have one value, that is 1, and name, that is ID and name. So map reduce job takes some time to execute the command. So it will take some time to execute my query to insert the value in that particular table. So now you can see my table has inserted that value successfully. So select star from new table would have one value. Yes, it is displaying 1 and name. Now you can see how you have rename your table. The command is alter table, rename table, that is my table name, and then rename to new table. So again if I want to rename, so my table is new table and I am renaming it to new table 1. So the command is alter table, the table name, that is new table, and rename to new table name. So my query is executed and I have renamed that table. So now you can verify record with new table 1. So this is how you can rename your table. In this session we are going to see how we can update the columns in Hive and how we can add more columns in our existing Hive tables. To replace the Hive columns, we need a table. So let's see which all tables I have. So show table is the command which verifies all the tables you have. So let's take any of these my tables to replace the column with other columns. So let's take the schema of new table 1, DESC new table 1. So this has the schema of address, city, ID and city 1. So let's take a replace of column schema with this table. So to replace a schema of a table, the command is alter table. So alter, so alter table, then table name. My table name is new table 1, then replace, and then columns, because I'm looking to replace columns of my table. So I'm replacing with, let's say, zip code, that is in type, and I'm taking new one, let's say designation, that is also a string type. So I'm taking only two column schema of my existing table. So let's execute this query. So my query is successfully executed. So let's see the schema of this new table again. DESC new table 1. So now you can see my schema got changed. Earlier I have 4 columns, that is address, city, ID and zip. Now I have replaced my schema with only 2 columns, that is zip code and designation. So it is displaying only zip code and designation in my column schema after the alter command is executed for replacing the columns. So you can replace your existing columns using this keyword, that is alter table and then table name, and replace column is the keyword, that is replace columns. And let's say I want new schema, let's say zip code 1 and designation 1. So only these 2 columns would get displayed again. So if I see again with DESC and table name, then only zip code 1 and designation 1 would get displayed. So this is how you replace your existing column schema with new column schema.